When I was a little girl, we kind of struggled financially. My mom being a single mom with 2 kids at 18, it was a difficult situation to be in. When I was 10 years old, my cousin, who was 3, was like a little brother to me. He was beaten to death by his stepfather. How could I trust in a God that would allow something like that to happen? It just spiraled into depression, and I ended up hanging out with people who had issues like mine in their life, and ended up getting involved in drugs and just continued to fuel that depression. When I was 16, I was very outspoken atheist and really searched a lot of different religions and just felt so empty in everything, whether it was in drugs or sex or even just deep thinking and philosophies. It just seemed to all leave me really empty. And since there wasn't anything in life that satisfied the emptiness, I just didn't want to do life anymore.
There were times I cried myself to sleep at night.
I made a plan to commit suicide. I just didn't want to wake up anymore. I just was tired of waking up, and I just thought, I can't keep doing this.
Only to wake up wishing that I didn't.
The day I planned to commit suicide, I came home from school early, and my grandma wasn't supposed to be home. And she just had a way of knowing when something was wrong. And she just looked at me and said, "Something's wrong with you. You're going to church." And that was the last place in the world I wanted to be. I hated Christians, I hated church, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna go to church. And we got into a crazy screaming match, and I just remember saying, if you'll just shut up, I'll go. And when it's over, then I'll commit suicide. I was sitting in the back of the church, slouched down in my chair with my arms crossed, and the preacher began to speak, and everything he said was straight to my heart, like I was the only person in the room. And he stops in the middle of what he's saying, and he says, there's a suicidal spirit in the room, and God wants you to know that he loves you. All the hair stood up on the back of my neck. I was like, this is just really freaking me out. I gotta get out of here. I got up and went towards the door after he dismissed the church, and a man grabbed me by the arm, and he was a white-headed old man, and he said, God wants me to speak to you, and he wants you to know that even though you've never known an earthly father, that he will be a better father to you than any earthly father could ever be. He said, he's seen you when you cry yourself to sleep at night. And when he said that, it really shook me, because I had cried myself to sleep every night since I was 10 years old. If I didn't cry, I couldn't sleep. But he said he sees you when you cry yourself to sleep at night, and he loves you so much, and he sent his son Jesus to die and bleed on a cross to take all of the pain that you're experiencing on himself, so you don't have to experience it. He said, do you want him to take that from you? Because he died to take it. And I was like, well, you could try it. You know, he was like, can I pray for you for that? And I was like, you could try it. I don't really believe in all this, but I know something crazy is happening right now. And so he put his hand on my shoulder and began to pray. And he said something like, God, I pray that you would wrap your arms around your daughter and let her know how much you love her.
In my life I searched for something to satisfy the longing in my heart. And every time I come away emptier than before.
And in that moment, something you just can't explain, that you have to experience, where I literally felt like I was in front of the God of the universe. And the thing that I noticed, first of all, was that this God was so holy and awesome, and I was so not that. I'm just so thankful that God sees us different than we are. He doesn't turn away, that He still looks at us with love. It's amazing to think that God is a father like that. Jesus died in my place. And because of that, all I have to do is believe it and say, yes, change me. Yes, make me new.